Jinger Duggar's husband Jeremy Vuolo has been accused of hiding his worst views to make himself palatable on social media. Of course, sometimes he doesn't really hide it. Jeremy recently tweeted out a quote alleging that Christians will inevitably be persecuted as criminals. It is not going over well, but it serves as a reminder of what Jeremy really believes. On Twitter, Jeremy took 3 tweets to share a quote. "Our age is being described as postmodernist, a time in history when truth is regarded in the Hegelian sense," the quote began. Hegelian thought refers to how the rational alone is real. It's a philosophical approach to understanding the world. That is, that something may be true for you or me or for now, Jeremy's quote explained. The explanation continued, "But it does not have any binding validity for others or for all time since there are no absolutes, there is nothing we can call false," Jeremy's quote then asserted. That is an interesting interpretation of Hegelianism, to say the least, but that's neither here nor there. To call something false is an inexcusable power play, the quote continued. "All ways of life must be equally valid," Jeremy's quote claimed. And Jeremy's quote continued, "The only thing that is absolutely wrong is to say that the path taken by someone else is wrong. The time is probably coming when Christians holding to absolute standards will be considered criminals," the quote concluded. That over-the-top claim comes in a quote from James Montgomery Boyce, which Jeremy noted in his tweet. Boyce was an American Christian theologian noted for asserting beliefs like biblical inerrancy. He died in 2000. Obviously, these words are his, and not Jeremy's. But since Jeremy is a public figure sharing a quote in this context, it very clearly indicates that the quote reflects his beliefs. We could try to break down what Jeremy is using Boyce's words to argue. But across social media, a number of Duggar fans and critics alike have already done that for us. Jeremy's beliefs are clear, and they are much less people-friendly than his and Jinger's Instagram account makes it appear. His point is that if his religious beliefs aren't binding to everyone else, then he'll be persecuted, one commenter summarized. "He's the one who is persecuting all other religions," another commented, by going on TikTok and stating his Christian denomination is the only true one. That same commenter continued, "He also called Catholicism, the first Christian denomination, pagan. So what would that make his?" That commenter is referring to Jeremy's recent claim on TikTok. "When you boil it down, there are actually only 2 religions," he asserted, despite there being thousands of religions. "One is the religion of man's achievements, and the other is the religion of Jesus' achievements," Jeremy insisted. "The one says you can earn salvation, nirvana, or freedom by what you do," Jeremy asserted incorrectly. He alleged that Jesus had a different message. "The Bible tells us that no one can be saved by keeping works of the law," Jeremy insisted. "But only through faith in Jesus Christ," Jeremy continued. He said that this salvation is attained through faith in what Jesus Christ has done in his life, death, and resurrection. Jeremy then asked, "What can you do to obtain your salvation? Or what did Jesus Christ do to obtain salvation for you?" Yeah, that left a sour taste in many people's mouths. It's just rude to literally any religion, but Christianity. There are polite ways to assert your beliefs. But it's so vital to understand that countless religions have no concept of salvation, because there is nothing from which to be saved. Back to the backlash against Jeremy's quote, however, and we see this, he's a hypocrite. "He persecutes people who believe differently than he does," a commenter wrote. The same commenter continued, "However, he can't take a dose of his own medicine. He sees nothing wrong with stepping on the religious freedom of others," another commenter wrote. But, the non-fan observed, "Jeremy is personally offended by any and everyone who doesn't believe what he does and feels persecuted." That commenter concluded, "He needs to research what real persecution is." A cornerstone of much of evangelical Christianity in America is the assertion that Christians, though a global and national minority, are persecuted. It's difficult to imagine how the religion of 70% of the country, a majority of legislators, and all presidents could be oppressed in the United States. But this claim is used to drive up anxiety among Christians, and to use that fear for both profit and politics. Which of these is Jeremy's goal?